So this is their first flip, and they're saying that's only going to cost them $20,000. Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, so we got another HGTV reaction for you, Bill, and I got an interesting one for you this week. A couple of ambitious house flippers take on a project. They're buying a house for $1.25 million, and their main purpose in this house is to move the kitchen. Our good old friend Tarek is back. He graced our screens again, and he gives the new house flippers a little bit more information than they can handle.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go.
You guys want to take this on as your first flip?
Dude,
Hey,
yes.
when opportunity falls, you gotta catch
go
it.
home, right?
You know, there's different risk levels when it comes to house flipping.
Yeah.
Obviously, the less risky flip would be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot house. And the highest risk flip will always be a unique property. You said 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and you paid $1.25 million.
Yes.
What do you have budgeted for the actual project?
About 150,000.
And the exit is at around 1.8, you said?
1.85 is approved 1.9.
Wow. And you paid $1,250,000 for the house. Did you buy it cash or did you get a loan?
Hard money lender.
So your monthly carrying cost is probably going to be about what, $10,000 a month?
Yeah.
So right there, you're looking at $60,000 in hard money costs. You're averaging rehab at $150,000, plus you're going to have about $80,000 in closing costs when you sell the house. So it's a break even $1,540,000.
Something right.
It's right in there. And I know that 1.8 to $1,540,000 sounds like a big number. It's not. I promise you that gap can go from that to that
Real quick.
like that.
So let's look at the closing costs real quick. So let's say it does sell for $1.85 million. $80,000 divided by $1.85 million, that's 4.3% closing costs. So those closing costs on a sale are not even close to accurate. Let's just say you have realtor on each side, 6%, and then you got 1 or 2% of other type of fees, maybe 1%, because we're talking about a very expensive house. So let's say 7%. We'll use just 7% on the closing costs since they already added money in. 1.85 million times 7% is $129,500. So that's more realistic on a sale price like that. And then let's use 6 months, so 60K in money costs. So right there, we're at 1.5 million for their break-even costs. And that's not including purchase price, the stuff on the purchase on the front end. They probably paid another 2 points on the hard money, so that's 20K. And then you've got some other closing costs in the front end too. So there's a whole ton of fees and costs that are not put in here. This is the challenge when you look at numbers on an HGTV show.
Walk me through it.
All right, so we're gonna knock this out another 6 feet and do a glass enclosure onto the top of the block wall.
So it feels like an atrium.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a peninsula with the cabinets continuing into the extension. And then over here, we're looking at the pantry and the fridge.
I'm trying to put the kitchen as a focal point.
And have this more of like an entertaining dining area.
It sounds pretty neat, but if I were flipping the house, I'd probably just leave the existing floor plan, get in and out as fast as I can, make it look as nice.
So I agree with him there. I would leave the existing, it makes no sense. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. They're using like an exterior brick wall to bump the house out to put a kitchen in there. And they only have a budget of $150,000 for the entire job. This seems unlikely.
Nice as possible. To do that kitchen over there is probably gonna cost you $10,000, $12,000. How much is it gonna cost to move the kitchen, add the plumbing, add the power, add everything, and do the addition?
Probably like
20.
There's no way it's only $10,000 more.
It's just aluminum and glass.
I don't think it's 20,000. So today's our 90-day check-in, and I don't know if you guys know this.
So this is their first flip, and they're saying that's only going to cost them $20,000. Absolutely ridiculous. I think they're totally underestimating. So let's see what it looks like after he checks back in.
But I've actually stopped by a few times.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, every time I came by, nobody was here. You guys weren't here, the workers weren't here, so I was just kind of wondering what was going on.
A couple months ago, we were supposed to start with the original plumber. He came in, price went from when he called us skyrocketed. I found another plumber to come in. Difference in price was about $5,000.
And then how much of a delay did you get?
That put me back about 3 weeks, almost.
So I already know what Tarek's going to say. I'm going to pause it right here. So increase by $5,000 of the price, and then the delay costs 3 more weeks to find another plumber. Just the hard money costs alone are $7,500 for 3 weeks. So if it's $10,000 a month that they're paying in hard money costs, which is what they averaged, $7,500. So it cost him more to go find another plumber than it did to just pay an extra $5K. That's not even including electricity, taxes, insurance, water, sewer, trash, any of those other things that he's paying, cutting the grass, all the things that it costs for holding costs to add up. So let's see what Dark says.
The carrying cost on the house, $10,000 a month?
$10,000 a month, yeah.
So bottom line is this, I mean, we have all these delays because people are taking advantage of you and it comes down to experience, like that's it. People waste your time, they don't commit, they don't follow through, and then you stand here in a $million-something house with a $10,000 mortgage that looks like this. And honestly, it pisses me off. I need you to act like your entire life depends on this flip because in actual...
So he doesn't break down the costs. I kind of wish he did. I kind of wish he just put numbers to it. Like, let's just say that it's a 10% holding cost just for the loan, 10% on the loan. They're somewhere around $10,000 to $12,000 a month, depending on how much they borrowed. So on top of that, like I said, you got all these other costs and it'll just eat your lunch. And so a lot of times we think that we should spend a whole lot more time finding another contractor. If you find somebody good and it's a little bit more, I want things done good and I want things done fast.
In reality, it could, and I've seen it happen.
Got a problem over here in the bathroom now too. To transfer the kitchen, we need the drainage. Plumber came in. Apparently there's a piping in here that went all the way through from one side to the other, all the way to the back living room area, and that was supposed to carry the AC. So he cut it, so my AC guy came in, turned everything on. This is now a live unit.
Oh my God, you're telling me you have live unit blowing into the dirt?
This is live unit right now, so we gotta figure out how to reroute this.
I'll tell you what, if it was me, I wouldn't pay for that because that's a big deal.
Okay, so when you start opening certain things up, so if they just left the plumbing where it was and just left the kitchen where it was, you wouldn't see all these other extra things that are happening. Moving the kitchen sounds fine. It's a little bit extra money if everything goes right. Once one or two things start going wrong, everything doesn't ever go right, by the way. It just doesn't work. It doesn't happen. And so you got to assume that like 50%, maybe 30% of the things that you think are going to go right are going to go wrong. And then what's that going to cost?
Yeah.
You have spent $50,000 just in mortgage payments.
Just your mortgage payment, yeah.
The house looks like a war zone. I never say this, but I'm going to say it. You need to fire every single person working on this house.
When we started this, it meant everything to our family, and it still does. We provide for our 3 children, so it still means everything for us to make this work.
We're gonna keep fighting. We have too much invested in this project. We have no choice but to finish it.
All right, so before they finish up, I'm just gonna, really expensive projects like this, really big carrying costs, really big swings have gotten me in trouble in the past. I love the cookie cutter basic houses, especially if you're just getting started. If you're just getting started, find a single, find a double. You don't need a home run right out of the gate.
And they're still working on the flip. They're currently 10 weeks behind schedule and a whopping $90,000 over budget.
Okay, $90,000 over budget, 10 weeks behind schedule, so that's 2.5 months. Lots can change, especially with time. The market can change, everything can shift. The ARV, the after repair value of the house, the expected resale value can go way down. In the past few years, it's allowed the resale value to go up and it's saved a lot of flippers' butts. But right now, the market is eating people's lunch and you don't want to be like these folks. Hopefully you guys are watching this, paying attention. Join us here on our YouTube channel, 7-Figure Flipping YouTube channel. Subscribe and use some of the tactics and trainings and tips that we give here to save you a lot of money and make you a ton of money and structure your business right.